So with the business of the day taken care of, I do want to, give some spiritual word today. So let's see with a shortened homily if I can get the Catholic Stewardship Appeal, Respect Life Month, and that kind of firm gospel reading about marriage and divorce all in one homily. Let's see if I can pull it off. So if you're on pastoral council or you're one of my daily mass regulars, this will sound familiar. I went to a little talk with Father Nathan a few weeks ago, and he said something that I just can't get out of my head because it was so well put. Among other things, he said, we need to regain our appreciation for the word normal. Normal is not a bad word. Normal is when things are functioning appropriately and when things are in harmony. That is what normal means when you get down to it. And I don't know how things were 200 years ago, but today at least, it seems like we are giving a lot of attention to the exceptions, the outlying cases, the extremes. And that's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but we as a people, a society, and a church, we also need to pay attention to the norm, the normal, the standard, the ideal. That is what we should be aiming for, because that is what life looks like when everything is functioning as it is meant to be. So with the gospel reading being what it is, I'll be as crystal clear as I can manage. You are not a bad person if you have gone through a divorce. You are not a bad person if you are raising a kid as a single parent. And by the exact same logic, you are not a bad person if there is something about your body that is considered unhealthy. What those things mean, if those are true, it means that there is a level of harmony that is somehow missing in your life. That's too bad, but welcome to the club. It's everybody. It's literally everybody. No one has 100% harmony in body, mind, and spirit, not even the saints. But even so, when we are missing something in our lives somehow, that ideal, that norm, is still what we should be aiming for, because that is what it looks like when things are functioning correctly. So, it is normal to eat healthy food and get a moderate amount of exercise. That is when your body is in harmony. It is normal for us to protect our children. It is abnormal when a society says the protection of our children is not really a priority. That's weird. Something is wrong about that. It is normal for a married couple to fight, but it is normal for a married couple's conviction and connection to one another to be stronger than whatever it is they're fighting about that day. And yes, it is normal for us to give to our churches and the big church, the CSA, and things of that nature, because that's the way it works. You are not a bad person if you can't donate to the CSA. We understand that. We've always understood that. But it's something we have to collectively do. We support the church so that the church can support us. In our earliest documents about church structure, that was a thing. That is in our writings, that the people of means of a parish give to the church so that the church has the resources to care for those who are truly in need. I want to leave you just one last thing to chew on, then we'll move on with Mass. So I'm in a pre-support group, which is encouraged, and there are 7 of us. 3 of us are in active ministry. The other 4 are retired. Of those 4 retired priests, 3 of them are ancient. Their words of them describing themselves. And so they talk about their medical issues, because that's what happens when you're in a support group. And one guy, his medical issue is he suffered a mobility issue. I forgot if it was his foot, his leg, or his hip. But he said, only when you suffer a mobility issue do you look out in the world and see how many people are walking funny. Once you have to walk funny. Because when you injure your foot, your leg, or your hip and you can't fix it immediately, well, what happens? You start favoring the other leg. You limp, you waddle, whatever. And he said the problem with that, because when you're an older guy, you got to care for your health because you're fragile. He said, once you start favoring another leg, you start developing other complications because your body has two legs meant to support your body weight evenly. Your body is not meant to support your entire body weight on one side. And the point here is that disharmony leads to more disharmony. It's a downward spiral sort of thing. But if we focus on the norm, if we focus on the ideal and work on that harmony, then we stand the greatest chance of being healthy and well in body, mind, and spirit. It's true for our physical forms. It's true for our families and protecting the next generation. And it's also true for the way we function as a church and as a general society.